Hello, my GERO 200 friends. I hope you enjoyed the readings from the first week. And now, what's really important is you need to interact. Okay, a big part of learning is peer learning, social learning, and I don't need to tell you that. Look at how much information you get from things like Facebook. So what we're asking you to do is to really put in a good effort and do the best you can with our poor man's version of Facebook, and that's called Blackboard. Okay, which is a pain in the ass to use, but it is what it is. That's what we're using. So I expect you guys to post obviously your response to questions, but also to interact. Okay, because you're going to learn from each other, you get to know each other, and it's a really cool way to do things. Okay. So this is a course on aging, as you know, and so the first thing I did is I asked you to look at populations, okay, and it was using this article, okay, so I'm pointing it out to you right here, okay, and we read the very first part, okay, and that's the top right here, the first generation, okay, the biggest generation. I encourage you to look at the other things, okay? Look at the China effect. That's a really cool one, okay? Because they have a huge population, and they're an economic powerhouse, and they have a lot of old people, okay? And that's an important thing. Okay. Alrighty. So the article from the LA Times gave you kind of a framework to basically step outside the U.S. box. We're kind of insulated here in the United States, and sometimes you forget what's going on all across the world, and the reality is you guys are inheriting this world from us, and so it's a good time to find out what's going on. There's going to be social issues that weigh in on you, and there's going to be opportunity to become a global citizen, a global employee, and travel the world and apply your practices. Okay, so it's good to know what's going on in these other countries, and it's kind of amazing. I thought the videos were done especially well in this LA Times article, and they really spelled out things that affect human population, things like child mortality or infant mortality. Things like short lifespan and what causes people to die. Okay, so what is the underlying causes of mortality, and then how modernization and evolution of man in terms of knowledge and how he can apply his brain to give him an advantage. We came up with things like agriculture and the Industrial Revolution for maximal delivery of goods and for manufacturing, and then we developed methods of sanitation, okay, and suddenly these things that used to kill us are starting to creep away, okay. Medicine, okay, of course the big one was the beginning of the 20th century. We had Jonas Salk and the development of vaccinations, and suddenly people weren't dying off in their infant years, okay, so now you bump them up, and what we've done is systematically gone up the chain in the United States, okay, and similar countries, and that we're able to have medical intervention that is eliminating diseases of middle age, eliminating diseases of old age, things like cardiovascular disease, cancer, Parkinson's, whatever it is that we're trying to treat, diabetes, okay? By manipulating the course of the disease, we're now shifting the age structure, okay? So this is kind of an important issue for the discussion this week, okay? And it's a form of population analysis. It's called epidemiology. So you've heard people say demographics. Demographics is just talk about numbers of individuals within age groups and how that changes over time. Okay. Now we put on another layer, and that's different aspects of public health and medicine. Okay. And so now we're asking, what are the underlying factors that contribute to the development of these different diseases that affect people at different ages. Okay, that's what epidemiology is about. It's really important. It's training in this aspect of this course. Okay, gives you some insight in terms of job opportunity. There are epidemiologists that are hired by major corporations. Okay, to look at trends in health and how it affects the lifespan and how it affects death rates. Okay, so somebody that studies public health. Okay, you a public health official is an epidemiologist. You can work for Kaiser Permanente, large insurance companies, hospitals. They're all hiring people that can give some insight into these things, epidemiology and aging. Okay, so that's a kind of an important application of what you learned from the LA Times article and how it applies to what you're going to be learning now. Okay, so you will go through the chapter, and you're going to see in this chapter we describe what's going to happen to you. Okay, so we're going to see this rise in people 65 and older, and remember the largest and fastest growing age group is the over 85. It's not the largest, but it's the fastest growing age group. That's 85 and above. And these people require a lot of care. They're going to be dependent on you. Okay, so that adds to your duty. Okay, because you're going to have children too. Okay, so now they're coming at you from both ends. Okay, all these dependents. Okay, and so we call this the dependency ratio. Okay, for every one of you, how many people out there are saying, "Help me"? Okay, so it's going to be children, old people, stuff like that. Okay, alrighty. Through epidemiology, you're going to see what causes population age structures to change. We're going to define what causes death, fertility and birth rates. Okay, these are all important things. Okay, and then the second part is looking at the demography and using graphs to represent the transitions over time. Okay, so we'll look at different segments of society, and we have these things called age pyramids. Okay, it's just a graph. You have an opportunity to look at simultaneously male and female versions going up this pyramid. Okay, and you look at each age group. Okay, where it starts with the little guys on the bottom and grandma and grandpa on the top and everybody in between. Okay. And we ask, how does that change? How does it change over time in different segments of society? Know these graphs. Come final time. Okay, know where they are. Okay, you have an open book final. You need to remember how to come back to these things and be familiar with them so you can use it for the questions on the final. Okay, so that's a kind of a large intro, but I wanted you guys to be up on that. I'm also going to be sending you in the email that I attached to this video instructions for your critical thinking assignment. It's a 2-page paper where you're asked to go to federal websites, the U.S. Census Bureau, and pull out information about age groups. Okay, this is pure demography. This is not epidemiology. This is pure demography. But it can be fun. Okay, so get in there and be the web browser that you guys are. Okay, and go have fun with this stuff. And we'll see you next week. And I'm going to turn it off right now. Bye.